I don't know how Marcus has got more health than you right now, but he does.
It's because you're sitting on like in a lawn chair with a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
I'm I'm bashing fuckers over the head with a fire poker.
Silas was engaged in a lot last session.
He was in berserker mode for sure.
All right, so just as a quick recap for last session, what session is this? 15, 16? I don't have my notes in front of me. 17. Session 17. Okay. So last session, you guys were a group of very stealthy snipers. Presented themselves, basically indicated that they had been watching you since you went to the rodeo, and signaled the smugglers that Peter had been trying to contact. Gave you a lot of information about the ins and outs of how Sullivan and the smugglers and Marv were all connected. Basically confirmed for you that, well, didn't confirm, but gave you some information that told you that Sullivan and the Vanguard were not directly involved in the cannibalism, but that Sullivan knew about it. And the reason that Sullivan was angry at Marv and the cannibals is because they were using the rodeo to pick people off. It was interfering with the smugglers that Sullivan was getting a kickback from. And the smugglers, as much as it was at one time a legitimate operation that helped people get out of the United States and into Canada, it has since been overtaken by a group of Black Iron Jackal raiders that basically use the entire thing as a way to engage in human trafficking for their own good. So that was the big lowdown on the whole smugglers, cannibals, Vanguard sort of triangle, love triangle, so to speak. And they also informed you that Kurt, the guy that had been sort of something of an informant for you, or at least somebody that was really encouraging you to follow through on this smuggling operation that Peter had planned. What you discovered is that Kurt was, as much as Kurt was sort of genuine about his origin story and the idea that he doesn't really like the Vanguard and all this stuff, the reality is that he was acting in a way that was attempting to get in good with Sullivan so that he could sort of improve his standing. They provided you with some intel that would allow you to infiltrate the Vanguard base, so to speak, that was basically just an overtaken rec center. You guys developed a plan to sort of sneak in through the back, enter the complex through the roof, set off explosive charges above the barracks to basically wipe out all the personnel that were in there, and then make executions in the officers' quarters, while Bunk and Marcus sort of staked out front and took out anybody that was coming out from the front. Plan went pretty well. Silas successfully crept his way from like the kitchen all the way through the dining room into the officers' barracks, where the two guys that were with you were, quietly cutting throats, and you were just beating the shit out of people with a fire poker. You finally found Sullivan. You blinded him with your fire poker before bludgeoning him to death, which was successful, but maybe not as entirely stealthy as quick and quiet as was initially thought. And And then over on the explosive side, Dorian really impressed A with some of his explosives handling until he got to the second charge that he was supposed to set, and everything just sort of devolved, and Dorian ended up panicking in the rafters above the gym. It was very touch and go moment, but eventually everything sort of became everything got set in place. You guys made your way over to the roof, set off the charges. The remaining troops attacked out front. Bunk and Marcus took care of some of them from at a distance. Then a second wave of troops came out, basically right behind Silas as you guys were trying to reconnect with Bunk and Marcus. But you guys managed to put all of the remaining guards and retaliation troops, you managed to put them down. And at this point, I think that you guys were all getting ready to sort of search the grounds, or search the inside of the rec center, basically, to see what you could find, maybe scavenge for resources and whatnot, and just kind of scope the place out. And I think that's where we left it off. Did I miss anything?
I think you're good.
Sweet. So, what do you guys want to do next? How do you guys want to do this?
Hey,
Marcus
E and
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
hey, E and F. Either you guys a medic or anything? I got hit pretty good.
Neither one of them are really. Let me look up their stat block real quick. Oh, Jesus Christ. Katong. Actually, yeah. One of them's got the E's got the field surgeon talent, so he is going to. Yeah, are you critically injured, or are you just missing?
No,
outputs?
just low.
Low
on hit points.
They don't really have anything to
Critical
heal specifically. If you had critical injuries, they could stabilize you, but they're just sort of like, sorry, man, we don't. I know you're busted up a little, but we don't really have anything on hand immediately.
All right, it's good. When we search, I might hang back a little bit.
Okay.
Do we have I don't have any in my stuff, but does anybody have I think Matt, maybe you gave me something to help me because my healing is not bad. Greenlee, if he's got some supplies, could I be able to patch him up if I successfully roll on something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's got medical supplies that would be specifically used for healing, sure.
All I got's the morphine and penicillin, which doesn't really apply in the moment.
I didn't know if that was in some kind of a first aid kit or something you had, but
I don't know if anybody's got a first aid kit per se. Yeah.
I got a rusty shaving tin if you want tetanus or anything.
Anybody want tetanus? No? Okay.
that would round out my 300 days bingo card, but I think I'll hold off.
The injuries that you've sustained.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Marcus was asked Bunk if he could see, because we're kind of back to the woods, right? Or there's wooded area around us.
Yeah.
Just to see if he could find some kind of stick or something I might maybe use as a crutch to try to add a little bit of mobility to my guy here.
I mean, I would say sure, there's something there. I mean, Bunk doesn't even need to go out and find it for you. I mean, there's, you could, let's say you find, a tree branch that actually, yeah, for right now you find a tree branch that helps you move around. Like it's, there's a tree because you guys are kind of in town at this point. Like, the rec center that the Vanguard had taken over as sort of their base of operations is, just in the middle of the town strip, so to speak. And there's a dead birch tree out front, and you just kind of tear a limb off, and you're good to go.
Cool.
Anything else you guys need?
So this is like where they're all held up or were held up. They're not anybody else in town, we assume.
As far as the localized operations, this is where pretty much I would say 90% of the entire Vanguard presence in the Fraser Valley was stationed. You guys did enter in through Tabernash up north, where you guys, that was north from here. And there was another military checkpoint. So you guys came from the south side through Fraser up to the rec center. So there is at least one other military checkpoint that you guys know of because you've been through it. But it's miles away.
Okay.
And
Hey,
so
let's maybe go check the officers' quarters to find out if there's anything good in there.
okay. Yeah,
Gotta have some like notes of operation plans or smuggling stuff or whatever.
yeah. I mean, sure. And A is just sort of like that guy has been taking kickbacks for at least a couple years. I don't know what he's got specifically in terms of trade. I don't know what they're giving him. I don't think it's money. I mean, who uses money anymore? But I mean, there's certainly gonna be something of value in Sullivan's quarters.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay. Do you guys still have access to the image for the 300, like the map of the grounds? It's
Yeah, I think
it's
it's in
not
the
too far up in the
text.
chat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys kind of go in through the front, and A is leading you. E and F are just sort of like hanging out front to kind of keep watch. And in front, you reach that control. It looks like the receptionist desk, so to speak. There's a place where somebody would greet you and ask you, are you here for the big game? But there's a long hallway that runs, east and west, and you know that to the west is where all of the officers' quarters were.
It was in that like senior game room. Is that where it was?
I think that's what we determined it was.
Yeah.
Yes, the community lounge and the senior game room was where we had decided the all the way at the end, like that bluish gray, that series of bluish gray rooms on the far end.
Yep. Let's go check it out.
Okay. So you guys head down that way, and A comes with you. And as you guys get there, you see the 3 dead bodies that are just sort of unceremoniously either dead in their beds where they were stabbed, or one of them is just sort of slumped over a chair and kind of in an awkward heap from when Silas bludgeoned him to death with a fire poker.
Marcus is gonna see this and say, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened in here?"
Yeah, it's not like it's like it's a shit show. Like, there's blood splatter all over the place. The guys in the beds have literally just bled out and are just lying in blood-soaked sheets in their cots. But you do see footlockers for all these guys at the foots of their beds. There's not really closets in here per se, but there are, like I said, a sort of like a footlocker that would be for each one of these guys. So there's 3 of them in here.
Yeah, I'll check Sullivan's footlocker.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just I'll take one of the other ones to search.
Same.
Let's go through Sullivan's first. So roll me 3d6.
Shit.
I got a 1, a 2, and a 4.
2 and a 4. So in Sullivan's 1 to 3 and 4. So you find 3 military grade MREs. That's the first thing you find. You find sort of like his uniform. It doesn't particularly look like it would be useful in any sort of like survival scenario. It's basically just, traditional BDUs that a soldier would wear. But you do find a fire starting kit, like a flint and steel. It's in like a little box. It's a flint and steel and tinder. What else do you find? Well, I'm sorry, what did you say? What were the 3 things that you found? Or what were the dice results?
1, 2, 4.
1, 2, and 4. Okay. The MREs, and then the last thing you find is another ledger book. It's similar to the one that you'd found in the truck that Corinne had found in the truck. This one is not. It's not in code the way that the other one was. The other one's got like weird symbols and shit. This one is just numbers and names. You don't really understand the numbers and names. Without context, they don't really mean anything. But it's definitely a ledger of dates, names, and numbers.
Okay, cool. I would also like to pocket his eye patch. A little,
Okay.
little keepsake.
Perfect. The other 2. Let's see. Whoever's next, go ahead and just roll me 3d6.
3d6.
Yep.
Roll.
3, 4, 6. Perfect. So you find in here, a small propane camp stove. A flashlight that's got like an LED flashlight. Batteries seem to be good. And you find a pack of 8 of those like iodine water purification tablets. And again, you find, like his uniform and socks and stuff. Yeah, I mean, to that end, there was a pair of wool socks in Sullivan's footlocker as well.
Do you think we'll need... Dorian talks to the guys. Guys, do you think we'll need these uniforms to, like, sneak past something in some point? Like... blend in with the crowd if we're going after these guys some more?
Doesn't sound like a horrible idea if we can, like, hold them in our backpacks or something.
Yeah, I think I'd like to shove the guy's uniform in my backpack.
Okay. Roll me roll me 3d6. And you're so lucky that the uniform is actually Dorian's exact size.
Perfect.
And then Marcus, whatever you want to do. You want to search?
Yeah. The 3d6. That's a 6, a 4, and a 3.
6, a 4, and a 3.
Isn't that what you just rolled, Shane?
I think so.
Each of these, I have like separate roll tables for each one of these. So you find in this guy's a small first aid kit.
Wait.
A 4-pack of those, like, when you go to Costco or whatever and you get like Gatorades in 4-packs. You found 4 energy drinks.
Electrolyte?
Yeah, electrolyte drinks.
drinks.
Yep. And what was the other one? What was the last one?
I had a 6, a 4, and a 3.
1 and 3. Oh, you find a roll of garment repair tape. I don't know if you've ever seen that stuff, but it's like if you get a tear in like your puffy jacket, you can cut off a strip and works really well.
And for these, Ryan,
Yeah.
are these things considered backpack or tiny items? Just for the sheet that you have for
A
us.
tiny item would have to fit in your closed fist. So I don't think any of these
Okay.
are going to be tiny items.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I think I want to. Marcus wants to try to take the uniform of this guy too.
Okay. Roll me 3d6.
A 1, a 6, and a 3.
1, a 6, and a 3. Okay. It fits. Like you pull this out and you're like, holy shit. We're the luckiest bastards on the planet. We got 2 uniforms that actually fit.
And
I
I'll
don't
shove
want
that in my back.
uniform.
Well, I think our guys got their throats cut, so maybe a little blood around the collar. I think that uniform on Kittredge, whoever, it's probably not worth keeping.
Ryan, how many of those iodine tablets did I get? Was it 3?
It was 8.
8?
Mhm.
Nice.
So 8 of them. Yeah, so the uniform and then a few cursory items that you found. And then Silas has the ledger book.
Silas, do you want me to try to? I found this small first aid kit. Do you want me to see if I can patch you up a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
So give me a healing roll.
My healing is 4 plus 2. 6. 1, 6, 1, 1, a 2, a 4, and 2 3s.
Okay. As long as you got 1/6, that's really.
I did.
Okay, so Silas, roll a d6.
And Ryan, does that like deplete this first aid kit? Is that something I need to take out now that I used it?
So Silas can add 4 hit points back. To answer your question about the first aid kit, set it up as a resource in your inventory.
Okay.
Set it at excuse me. Set it at D8. Actually, set it at D10. We'll say it's one of those like ultralight kits that are designed for like 3 people.
Okay.
And then after you've got it in your sheet, now I need you to roll a D8 or a D10. I'm sorry, whatever I said.
D10.
Yeah.
Let's see. The D10 is the green one. Yeah. That's a 2.
Okay. So because your natural skill is not medical attention, you like accidentally apply, like you're trying to open up the ointment to put it on his wounds, and you accidentally like burst out like this giant glob of it and waste some of it. And the first time you open up one of the bandages, it tears in half, and so you're like, whoops, I'm not good at this. But you've so drop that down to D8.
All right. Well, at least you got 4 points of healing, Matt.
I think you're muted, Matt. What did you say?
Thanks, Marcus. That really helps. I feel better. I found these rations in Sullivan's Foot Locker. I'm full up on food in my pack. Does anybody need any food?
Nope.
Negative.
Let me look at Bunk's sheet real quick.
Yeah, didn't he make a feast at the campfire?
Yeah. He's yeah, if you want to give those rations over to well, okay, so if you give him one of those, that would give him a D12 on his food roll, and then if you just want to hold on to the other 2,
okay,
then you could use those to eat without having to go into your resources. Does that make sense? If everybody's already full and you have 2 more MREs left over, you could individually use those MREs to eat for the day without having to make a resource roll on your food die.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
I am not going to take this uniform. As far as the fire starting kit, does anybody have any interest in that one? Basically, I'm like pretty much out of space in my backpack, so I either get rid of some shit or just leave stuff behind.
So you have like a flint? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
It's like a flint and steel.
You know, I'll show him the box. You know, it's got the flint and steel.
Does it fit in my hand, or is that gonna have to go in my backpack?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty tiny. It could fit you. It would be considered a tiny item.
Yeah, I'll stick it in my pocket.
All right, you can have that one.
Thanks.
Hey, Ryan, I was going to ask too. A while back, I got a 1-liter water flask.
Yeah.
Is that something I should be keeping in my backpack, or was that something that was just supposed to bump up my water resource?
It was empty, so it wouldn't have increased your water resource.
Gotcha.
Sorry, adjusting.
No worries.
Bunks. Character sheet.
I was just going to tell you guys, I keep forgetting, but I've got a water filter and this 1-liter water flask. So if we ever need to like collect some water, I think the filter will help us do that. And then that way we've got water for when we're in between towns and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Grace gave that to you guys.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you guys want to?
Hey.
Yeah.
I found this ledger in with Sullivan's stuff. You guys are more familiar with this than we are. Can you make anything of this? We found a similar one in the truck from Marv's ranch. Did we hand that over to you guys, or I forget where?
No, you guys still have those. They weren't particularly interested in any of that, but so you guys still have those. He is going to take a look at it. Actually, I mean, if you want to make an attempt to try and decipher the code based on the two ledgers.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. What would that be? That would be a. Give me an insight roll. Actually, roll insight skill with your wits attribute score. Does that make sense?
Yes. It helps a little.
Okay.
Do I need to add my 2 stress to this?
No.
I stressed out so much last.
No,
last
I would.
session.
I would say no. This isn't really a stress situation.
No, no 6s.
No 6s. Okay.
It ain't worth pushing.
I mean, you can hand it over to A, but like he's just like, I mean, I know about the smuggling, and I know about the kickbacks, and I know about Marv picking people off at the rodeo. I mean, I can take a look at it, but I mean, I don't specifically have any insight that would allow me to. Yeah, he's like, is there anybody here that might have any code cracking skills, or anybody particularly good at solving puzzles? I would say that this is a wits plus insight. Insight is usually not underneath wits, but we'll say wits plus insight would be the score for this. Is anybody particularly good at solving puzzles?
I already tried. I can't make heads or tails of this.
I used to think I was until I couldn't find out how you guys stole Kurt underneath our nose. So my confidence is pretty low. I mean, I have above table, I have a 4 in wits, but I don't have anything in insight. So I don't know if that's going to help at all.
And I've got a 3 in wits and a 2 in insight, so a total of 5.
There you go.
I would say, yeah, have Marcus roll this.
I'll try digital this time. So 5 D6.
Yeah.
There's a 6.
I didn't see it at first.
So you start looking at these two ledgers. And in combination with the story that A has given you with respect to the smugglers, the kickbacks, the operation that Marv had going on, what you're able to determine is how frequently the smugglers show up. So you're able to pick out like what the turnaround time is, so to speak, between signaling the horseshoe with the horse at the rodeo, turning the horseshoe up, and how long it takes for the pickup to happen. What you're also able to decipher is how many people have been trafficked to the smugglers versus how many people have been captured by Marv. And you're also able to determine that, just like A said, Sullivan has been getting routine food deliveries. So the kickback that A has been talking about is in the form of food. So basically what you're able to determine is that there is about a 24-hour turnaround between signaling the smugglers and the smugglers actually showing up.
So, if I'm reading, I guess I'm just going to try to tell these guys what it is, but like, from what I think I'm picking up here, this is just a ledger of what's been coming in and what they've been sending to the cannibals through the ranch. Right, and Ryan, can I tell if it's just like a holy shit, that's a fuck ton of people, or if it's just
like over the last year, you would say about 24 people have been trafficked to this smuggling operation, and of those 24 people, Marv has picked off about 5.
Yeah. So
the ledger that you guys got out of the truck was basically Marv watching for patterns with the smugglers so that he could time his operation to sort of fuck Sullivan. And Sullivan's ledger basically has a list of dates and people that have been shipped off. And so the discrepancies that are between those two ledgers basically account for the number of people that Marv has basically stolen to cannibalize for himself.
Yeah, so guys, this is just the cannibals. We're kind of figuring out how these operations were happening. It looks like they got enough to last them through the winter, if you know what I mean. It's pretty disgusting. I'm happy we burned that place to the ground.
Well, it doesn't have any value for me. If this, if what A said is true, is that this is the Jackals running the smuggling end, unless that's important to your people and you need proof for it, like, I don't need this. And I mean, you can have it if you want it.
So
unless you feel like finding out the pattern and wanting to go after him, I don't know.
I mean, that's sort of A kind of pipes up. He's like, I kind of feel like now that Marv's not there to kidnap anybody at the rodeo, if we just want to keep wiping motherfuckers out, we could stage a call, wait for him to show up, and just smoke a bunch of jackals, take whatever food they were planning on leaving for Sullivan. We could take all the food they have with them.
You had me at wiping motherfuckers out. Let me show you this room over here. This guy is missing a fucking jaw.
Yeah, I mean, based on the information that you have, you understand that there's a 24-hour window between signaling the smugglers and for them to show up. The only thing that you don't know is how that message is communicated. But it's also maybe not necessarily something you need to know.
So it's not the horseshoe flipping anymore?
Oh no, the horseshoe is the signal. What you're saying is
Okay.
like when Gondor calls for aid, so to speak, how do the beacons transmit their signal to the you're not sure how the signal is communicated to the people that show up. But again,
Gotcha.
A's like, I don't know that I care.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you want this next officer's room? We got 3 more bodies in there. Unless there's like, I'll Are they on cots or anything? Like, just kick over Sullivan's cot, see if anything interesting falls out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can just rummage through it again. I mean, there's nothing else that's particularly compelling in any of these things.
Not worried about it. Let's go check the other room.
Same deal. 3 more footlockers. Who's rummaging first?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
That is a 2, a 3, and a 4.
2, 3, and a 4. So these guys don't have quite the same amount of stuff. They're a little more utilitarian. Again, uniforms. You find another uniform. This guy has a small service pistol. It's a nickel-plated service pistol. And it's got a full clip. It's 45 millimeter.
I will
And we'll say
take that and
we'll say D8 ammo in it.
I'll take that and offer up my 9mm to anyone who wants it.
I'm good. I've already got
Again.
2.
I'm at my carry limit, so.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Does Bunk need one?
No, he's got a pistol. Excuse me. Anybody want to check the second footlocker?
I do.
Nice.
That 45, does it have the same damage and bonus as a 9?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just prettier,
I like it.
It's nickel plated as
Reminds-
opposed to, just.
Reminds me of
Ravaged.
fire poker assassinations.
Somebody give me a D6 roll for this next one.
Oh, I thought Shane did one. It was like a 6.
Oh, you got a 6. Sorry, I don't have D-dice up. Cool. Okay, so you find you find a hand crank radio, like one of those radios where you can like crank it up to get it to have like a battery charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to work. And then another uniform.
I've got one that fits already. I don't need.
We'll give one to Bunk. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this fits Bunk.
I hope it's a little too short or too tight.
It fits. Anything else?
Not for me.
And that's pretty. I mean, the stuff that's in these guys' footlockers are pretty benign. They don't. They're not carrying a bunch of interesting stuff. Do you guys want to check any of the other parts of the building out?
Oh, is that all
Does
3?
anybody want to go see the horror? The horror show that is the gymnasium.
The gymnasium. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
Get ready to roll for Constitution saving throw on that shit.
yeah. I mean, is there something else you guys want to check out first? I mean, there was you did come through like the kitchen to get to this spot. Did you want to go through the kitchen?
Yeah, might as well. Loot, loot, loot.
Okay. So you guys make your way up to the kitchen. And as you get in there, the cupboards, there's large bulk storage of food. So there's like a big one that's full of flour. There's another one that's full of, dry storage kind of stuff. And as you go through the pantries, you do find a number of those MREs that you found as well. There's enough for all of you to have. Well, hold on. Let me see how much there are. There's a total of 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, there's a total of 6. You already had 2 more, right? Well, no, you had 1. Yeah, 2 more. So you have a total of 9 of these.
So I don't need any.
Okay. Just give 2 more to everybody else.
Yeah.
And you said if we take one of those, we can bump our food, because my food's at a D10, so I could bump it up to a D12.
Yep, and then you would have 1 MRE left over.
Gotcha. I guess, is that a backpack item?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to walk around carrying an MRE all the time.
Yeah. It's a dumb question from me. I've got 2 9mm, one in my backpack, so if nobody needs it, I guess I'm just gonna get rid of this 9mm.
I would take the ammo out of it at least.
Okay. That's me taking the ammo out because I'm so good with guns. Yeah. So what do I do with the ammo that I take out? Do I just, because my ammo's already at a D12?
Oh, never mind then. Sorry.
Okay, so I'll add that MRE to my backpack. All right.
Actually, I'm not even going to keep the extra 2. I got things in my backpack that I would rather keep than that. So
okay.
Leave them on the table.
Let's see. 4 times 8, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Bunk's got room. If you want to send him over to Bunk.
Yep.
I'll give him to Bunk. Okay. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yep.
Maybe at our next sit down, Bunk can just distribute MREs instead of stew.
Perfect. Yeah, so I mean, you guys kind of you rummage through all of the officers' quarters. You grab whatever food seems like it would be worth grabbing. Everything else in there is short perishable stuff. I mean, there's some mung beans and whatnot, and some pasta if you guys want to grab that. But the MREs are compact. They're small. They're lightweight. They don't take up a lot of room in your backpack. Nothing else seems like it would travel well.
Anything like nuts or anything that might attract squirrels, like sunflower seeds or?
Yes. There is
Can I grab
a giant bin of. There's like a 30-pound bin of almonds.
Yeah, I just want to reach in and put a handful in both pockets of my jacket.
Okay.
Fill them with almonds.
Perfect. All right, you've got 2 big handfuls of almonds.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm a big nut guy.
Okay. Is there an obvious kitchen knife that I would have passed directly by right before all the assassinations?
So yeah, there's a prep station and
Should have picked a fucking knife.
yeah, so there's a prep station and it's got one of those big magnetic knife stations where you just throw the knife up on the magnet and it sticks to the wall. There's a big chef's knife, big 8-inch chef's knife. There's a bread knife. And then there's like a little, general deboning knife that's much smaller than the big chef knife. You have your choice here.
I'll just pick up the big chef's knife and hold my fire poker in the other hand and look directly at E and F. Be like, "Nah, I like mine better." And throw the knife back on the magnet.
Perfect. Anything else you guys want to look for in the kitchen before we move along?
Oh, I'm done in here.
Okay. So he kind of gets this morbid grin on his face, and he's like, "Does anybody else want to look? Is anybody else just like curious?"
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of curious. I've never actually seen what a claymore does, aside from YouTube videos.
It's like, we should go look. If nothing else, we could do some dead checking.
I don't know if there's gonna be much left in there to check, but I'm with you, A. Let's go.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll come. I'll pull up the rear though.
Yeah, I'll because I'm hobbling on the makeshift crutch.
Oh,
I'll just
in the officers' quarters, in the corner of the room, there was like one of those old walker crutches. So now instead of stabbing yourself in the armpit with a stick, you can use a proper like medical grade crutch to hobble around on.
That is a great find. You can also beat people with it.
Oh yeah.
when we're in a fight, I'll just throw it to Silas and watch him bludgeon people to death with it.
All right. So, anything else you guys want to do before we go check out the carnage?
I got the sawed-off shotgun out and ready if anything jumps out at us.
Okay. So you guys make your way down this long hallway. And it's quiet. Like, it's weirdly quiet. You get to the big doors for this gym, and one of them's kind of like not fallen off of the hinges, but sort of like you can tell that it took some damage, and it's bent ajar a little bit. There's a little bit of like dust, maybe a mixture of dust and smoke, still just kind of billowing out of like this little crack that's at sort of like the bottom of the door. And A just kind of, he turns, he's like, "You guys ready?" And he just opens the door, and it's just chaos. Like, it is just a mess of chaos. There are just bodies in pieces. There is just a mixture of like powder burns and blood all over the place. You do distinctly hear the sound of some voices that are just not really speaking, but are nobody's moving. But it does sound like there are, I wouldn't call them survivors, but there are people that are still clinging to the last shreds of whatever life they have left. It is a very grim scenario. There's like down feathers and pieces of fabric that are still just sort of like floating in the room from the blast. It looks like, a bunch of explosives went off above a bunk or a barracks full of people. It's just a mess. It is a shambles of humanity and death and gore, and need everybody to roll.
I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, I'm waiting for it.
I sent it in the text thread. I said, it's a trap. Here we go.
I need everybody to roll. Let's say this is a stamina score with an empathy attribute. So take your empathy score and add your stamina to it and roll that.
Empathy
Plus the stress we already have.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely a stressful situation.
God damn it. About to lose my mind.
1, 2.
No 6s, but no panic.
Okay.
I got
3, 4.
3 6s, a 3, and 2 1s.
I only need to know about the 6s.
Okay, sorry.
Minus thinking. There we go.
Did anybody panic?
No.
So I got to roll for bunk here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's saying he doesn't have any stress. I'm not sure I believe that.
I don't.
I mean, he was in the
Yeah, he was
in
with
the
me.
distance.
Well, he
the
does
whole
now.
time.
So Bunk is going to take a point of stress from that experience. If you didn't get a 6, you are going to take a point of stress. This is an extremely unsettling experience, an unsettling sight that you're having to deal with, and the weight of your distressed humanity weighs on you in this moment. A kind of turns to you guys like, even if there is anything in here worth salvaging, I don't want to go looking for it.
I don't need it. No, I don't need
Yeah.
it. Close the door.
Yeah, danger's done.
So he just closes the door, and he's just like, it's just like one of those things you just never unsee. And he's like, well, I think it's safe to say that we've reestablished control here. I've got some people that I can put on gym cleanup duty. But I mean, I'm perfectly content to reestablish this as a base of operation for myself. Unless you guys have any interest in taking control here. I know Grace would love to hear
certainly do
about
not.
this.
Yeah, maybe she can set up over here. I mean, I think it's too big for us, guys. We're just a bunch of wild men roaming the Rockies, you know?
Yeah.
The only other place we haven't
For
checked.
Grace to have any security on this would be Tabernash, because we drove through there on the way here the first time, and there's a presence there as well.
I think we are going to have to take out that checkpoint. I don't know how much of a resistance they're going to put up, if any. But
I've got a uniform. Maybe I can talk them into surrendering.
I mean, we can. I'm up for anything. I mean, I was thinking we could just grease them, but I mean, if you think that we can get them to lay down arms, so to speak, I don't see any reason why we can't make an attempt at diplomacy.
I feel like Dorian's confidence is really shaken since his stress and his failure to he's lost who he was. So I don't think he says this and then he's like backtracks really quick. He's like, I don't think Silas would really like us saving some Vanguard, so I think For his sake, we should just take them all out.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Let's take him out. Do we have to do it today? Can we rest up a little bit?
Yeah, Danger needs to nappy nap.
Oh, I think it's perfectly. Yes, like I think we've earned a rest here. I think that's entirely reasonable. I don't know that I want to sleep in the barracks.
The bunk room? No, I don't want to sleep.
No,
I might
in the burning barracks or the bloody officers' quarters.
Might just go camp out in like the mess hall or something. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna sleep after what I just saw.
Yeah, I don't either. We'll have to figure that out.
Damn you, Shane.
But yeah, it basically he's like that. I think that's a great idea. We should all get some rest. For no other reason, I think everybody's nerves are shot. It would be good for us to just take a breather before we dive into anything else.
Yeah, I could definitely use a rest.
Okay. Cool. So, all right. So you guys, A sort of discusses he meets up with ENF, and he chats with them for a minute and explains the whole process of like, you know, we're gonna get some rest. Let's be fresh. Tomorrow we're gonna, or you know, whenever we get finished resting up, we're gonna make our way to the checkpoint, try and take that out. And they're like, "Gotcha, boss." And so he makes his way into the mess hall, just like he said he was. He grabs some like the tablecloths and just sort of like rumples them up into like a pillow, so to speak, and just sort of a softer place to lay down. He kind of finds his way into one of the back corners that's away from the doors. And he's just like, I'm going to get some rest. I've got ENF posted outside, so I don't know that anybody really needs to stay watch, but you're welcome to if you'd like to. I think this would be a good opportunity for everybody to get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go find a spot to lay down.
Yeah, same. Bunk, you wanna stay up for watch since you really didn't do anything?
Well, I take quite offense to that. I'll make some stew. It's my bunk.
Spot on.
Yeah, so Bunk will stay up and make some stew or something. He'll I don't know, he'll find somebody to tell a story to while he's just up and about.
Did we lose Corinne? Like, is she just...
Oh yeah.
Where is she?
Where's my biggest fan?
Oh, she stayed back at the camp with the other soldiers, but she's not been forgotten about. She's just not here. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to settle in and get some rest, you can go ahead and do that. No need to make camp or anything like that. You guys are in a building. So we'll just say the first, you know, the entire duration of the watch goes pretty uneventfully. You all kind of fall asleep and sleep as best as you can, except for Dorian. I only want you to roll your stress dice. However many stress you have.
All right, I still have 3. God damn.
Oh man.
So you rest, but you're having like nightmares and cold sweats, and you have this dream where you're doing magic in front of Corinne, and she's like, "I saw you switch. Where's the pigeon come from?" She's like poking holes in all of your sleight of hand. It's really frustrating you. A whole series of nightmares. And so when you wake up, you're certainly rested. But instead of all 3 of your stress, you're still going to have 1. You're still going to have 1 stress.
I feel like that stress is never going to go away.
And then anybody who is missing health, roll a d6 and you can recover that much health.
Fuck me. God damn it.
I don't know which one Bunk rolled.
I rolled a 1.
Roll a 3. 6, 7, 8. No, he gets all 8 back.
Yeah. Silas like wakes up like feeling fucking great. And I found it a while back. I don't know why I kept it, but one of the tiny items I have is a rusty harmonica. So I would like to go to the kitchen area and try and clean up this rusty harmonica.
Okay, perfect. I love this. Yeah, I mean, so you get in there and you know, there's not much in terms of cleaning products, so to speak, but there is some dish soap. Give me a crafting roll. And I would say that you find like one of those green scrubby pads, so you can use that as a gear bonus, a plus 1 gear bonus.
All right. I got 1-6.
Sweet. So, I mean, as much as this thing still looks old and beat up, the rust has been cleaned out of it. There's no dirt in the reeds anymore. This is a playable harmonica.
Give it a little test out.
Oh, okay. What would this be? Give me a mobility roll, I guess. Does Silas know how to play the harmonica?
Oh no, he has no idea.
Oh,
But he
okay.
got 2 6s.
Oh wow! So even though you're like, I've never played a harmonica before in my life, you managed to like you bang out a few notes and it sounds moderately musical. But due to your general inability.
Is that hot cross buns?
I'm looking for vests with like a shitload of pockets on it so I can start my
Your harmonica collection. Perfect. Perfect.
All right. No longer rusty harmonica. That's what I got in my inventory now.
Bunk busts in and he's like, oh my God. We're never going to believe it. There were 3 owls swarming around in the gym. They were just like, hoot, hoot, who's an owl? I'm an owl. I tried to shoot one. I was going to make some owl stew. Didn't go well. I don't want to talk about it.
That's all right. I point out there's still like a pile of rations in the kitchen, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, so if everybody wants to just dig into the kitchen and grab some...
yeah. Oh, don't worry about the stew. I'm just going to grab one of these rations.
What do you mean, don't worry about the stew? I made it.
I hope Corrado watches this back and is like, what the fuck?
I don't sound like that.
Oh, he does. 1,000,000%. No. This is my shitty interpretation of what Bunk would sound like if not played by Matt Corrado. Okay, so yeah, you guys don't need to roll for food because there was a shitload of food left over in the kitchen. I would even argue that there's running water.
Nice.
Yeah, there's water, so you guys don't even need to roll for water. When you
Can
turn
I,
it on, though, it like makes weird noises and the pipes rattle and they're like it sputters because there's air bubbles in the pipes and shit. But eventually, you guys do get some water from the pipes.
I did shoot my weapon though, so I probably need to roll for ammo since.
When did you shoot your weapon?
I shot it off the roof, and I was like, I shot it twice actually.
I thought we rolled these last session. No?
Did we?
Did everybody roll for ammunition?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I did too. I don't remember.
I thought, yeah, because I think you mentioned it last time because I had forgotten and I think somebody mentioned it. Anyway.
Hey, Marcus, can we use your little filter and like replenish our water supply here?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Use the filter and fill up the flask and what everybody else has got.
And so you guys do, you spend a little bit of time. I mean, it's a gravity filter, so it takes a while for the water to run through the filter and into your guys' storage containers. But, you know, all in all, it takes about 10 minutes to fill up all your guys' water. Everybody, I would say you go ahead and set yourself at D12 for your water.
Hell yeah.
And as you guys are kind of like resupplying, reconditioning, you know, getting everything, you know, getting your day sorted out, because you know that A has a plan to want to go get this military checkpoint that's at the north of Tabernash. You know, you hear the big front doors open, and they're walking down the hallway, and you can hear them calling out for A. And this is two of the guys that were still back at the camp. They finally made their way down because they understand that you guys have taken over this base. And it's two other guys. We'll say O and P. They both have... They're arm in arm with Kurt in between them. And they're just sort of like dragging him through the hallways. And he's like, but I didn't mean it. I didn't do anything. And they're just like, shut the fuck up. And they're looking for A. And they find A and they're just like, what do we do with him? And A sort of pauses for a minute. And he turns around to the four of you and he's like, what do you guys want to do with him?
Honestly, I don't even know him that well, and all I have to go on is your story versus his story, and at this point, I don't even know if I give a fuck anymore.
Kurt's like, I can't believe you would say that after everything we showed with that conversation by the campfire. We grew up in the same story. We both hated the Vanguard. We didn't want it. This wasn't the life we chose. You can't just toss me to the
really
wolves.
Out there with us?
What?
Why were you with us? You know we found Sullivan's notes.
Well, so we could go to Canada. We could get out of here.
I don't think you...
So we could get out of here. That was it. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be here. Didn't want to be in this. This wasn't the life I wanted. We were going to get out of here. And then you let these guys derail the whole plan. Now I don't even know if the smugglers are coming anymore.
What makes you think the smugglers would even be coming?
Well, we just got to turn the horseshoe. We just got to turn the horseshoe. And then they come. And then we can go.
how well do you know the smuggler? Like, apparently Sullivan was getting some sort of kickback from them. What do you know about that?
I mean, who wouldn't take kickbacks? All I know is that people definitely showed up, definitely turned that horseshoe, and definitely left. They don't come back. Where else would they go?
Yeah. To Marv's to get eaten.
I mean, that was Marv. That wasn't specifically that wasn't specifically the smugglers. That was just Marv being Marv.
Maybe the smugglers are using these people as like slaves or something.
It's like after everything we've been through. I came and I tried to get you guys out of the storage closet that night. I made sure the door was locked so nobody could get in. Come on. Don't listen to these guys. Look at what they did here.
Yeah, I kind of like this better than your plan.
Why?
Aren't all these guys all ex Vanguard anyways?
I don't know.
Yeah, why didn't you just join them if you wanted?
Yeah, why don't you join them?
Well, that's a good idea. And he looks at A and he's like, I have value. I have keys. I have access to things. I know stuff. And A just smacks him, like just backhands the fuck out. He's like, I don't want to hear a word. He's like, you can't just. If you leave me with them, you know what's gonna happen.
What would Bunk say?
Bunk is busy. I don't know. There's certain decisions I don't want to roleplay for him. Bunk is just muttering to himself, stupid.
He's working on the stew still.
He's pulling feathers out of owls that are really terribly maimed.
I mean, like, I don't fully trust him, but I think it would weigh on my conscience if we just like let them kill him or whatever too. But that's just Dorian.
Ace sort of shrugs his shoulders like, I
guys.
don't give a shit about this kid. I don't give a shit about him. If you guys want to keep him as a pet, that's on you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's useless to me. And he's not a threat.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't find him to be at all useful, and quite frankly, he's a lying piece of shit, so I don't know that I have much use for him in any capacity. And
yeah,
Kurt's just like, that's not what do you mean? I'm lying. I told you everything I knew.
I don't need a pet.
Yeah, why don't Marcus is willing, like, hey, I left a 9mm in the kitchen. Why don't you go grab it and get the fuck out of here? Like, nobody here wants you here. We can't trust you.
What? What am I supposed to do by myself? I can stay here though, right? And A's just like, no. If you stay here, I'll handle you. He's like, what? I'm just supposed to go out there by myself?
I say, nope, you don't need to go anywhere. And I shoot him in
Uh-oh.
the
Dude, that was gonna come sometime.
Oh, God,
Okay.
I wanted to do that so bad. Fuck.
All right, well, like you shoot him in the face and like blood splatters. It's like that scene in Pulp Fiction where like the two guys that are adjacent to him just like get blood all over their faces. They're just like, God damn. And they just kind of drop Kurt unceremoniously on the ground. And A's like, well, I guess we figured that one out. He kind of turns to ONP and he's like, can you take care of this? Just dump him in the gym with the others, I guess. And so they just sort of like kind of wipe off their faces. And they're just like, all right, yeah, sure. And they just start dragging Kurt's dead, lifeless body down the hallway to the gym. Just like a streak of blood just sort of like paints the floor all the way to the gym. And A is just like, so about that checkpoint. How do we want to do this?
He's just moved on.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's done.
I love that
That's a boring
Silas.
conversation anyway.
Silas is a polar opposite to what Entrim is. It's fun to see the same person playing two just completely opposite characters. Bravo, Silas. Jesus Christ.
Silas is going down a dark path.
Fuck.
All right, so the checkpoint, we only briefly passed through it. I don't even remember how many guards there were. Do you have any intel on it?
I think at most there would be 3.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. It could be as much as it could be 4. Let's say 4 and hope for 3. Let's plan for 4 and hope for 3.
Okay.
Now, if we're talking about going back to that checkpoint and wiping that out, because if that's the case, now that I've got this sniper rifle with what Marcus can do, I'm 100% sure I could at least snipe one guy.
Okay. I mean, so yeah, you guys. So Grace's hospital, the YMCA hospital that Grace runs, is north of here, northwest of here. You guys are in like city center, so to speak, of Fraser. Tabernash is north, and then the YMCA was east. Or, I'm sorry, west. So you'd have to get through that Vanguard checkpoint on the north side of Tabernash to be able to get back to Grace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got Marv's truck if it's still running. We got 2 horses. A's got his truck. So
yeah, there's a full APC out front as well. Like you guys could take like a Vanguard personnel carrier if you wanted.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Badass.
Okay. All right.
So we were in. This was like 3 or 4 sessions ago. We were in the woods, and it was like right before that storm got us. There was a vehicle that you described passing by that essentially had some sort of light and maybe a gun on it. Is that the sort of thing that's out there?
It was
like a mounted...
No, there wasn't a mounted gun. This is basically just a glorified truck that you guys saw. But it had like a spotlight on it, and there was just a dude in the back with a truck or with a gun. This was not like the big APC. So the vehicle that I'm talking about is the one that Sullivan and Kittredge initially rode up in when they arrived at the YMCA hospital when you guys were there for the first time.
Hey, using that something familiar to these guards might not be a bad idea.
And A just sort of speaks up. He's like,
plan on coming back for that horse.
I would. And A sort of, he's like, I think it would be to our advantage, honestly, to ride up in this thing. If nothing else, it would delay the amount of time it takes for them to recognize us as hostile. Especially if you got two guys in uniform over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
So A looks at Silas, and he's like, I mean, I understand your history, but is there anything other than the symbolic reason why you wouldn't have picked up one of those uniforms? Seems like you would have the best chance at being able to pass a lie by one of these guys.
I mean, I left that life pretty early on, and my father was he was a piece of shit like Sullivan, so I don't really feel like putting on any of those uniforms.
Fair enough. You certainly don't owe it to me. He's like, is there anything we need to do before we head out?
We had a woman with us. She's still back at your camp and safe, and our horses and everything. All that's.
They're on their way down.
I guess what I'm getting at is, what's the plan after this? You guys just gonna take over this area and supplant the Vanguard? Like, what's your
Short
plan,
term?
and how do we fit in?
Short term, yeah. Short term, I plan on just basically reestablishing control in the area. I figure it's going to take a little bit for everybody to understand that the Vanguard's not in control down here. After that, we can establish whatever community we want here.
All right. I don't need to prep anything. We can wait to see Corinne and the horses if you guys want to, but you can also just go to this checkpoint.
How far is this drive?
Probably 20 minutes by truck.
I think that should be enough time for me to get my mind right, kind of shake those nightmares off.
Yeah, you can take a nice nap for
Kidding. That's gonna stick with me forever.
All right. So everybody's piling into the truck?
Yep.
Okay. And Bunk is gonna...
Got a fake Vanguard bunk, Dorian and Marcus up front, or what?
Yeah, who's driving?
With
I'll-
Marcus. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Marcus can drive.
I was gonna say, is that a mobility?
I would say there's not really going to be any specific challenges that you're going to encounter on the way to this.
Okay.
But yes, driving would be a mobility check. But I don't think there's going to be any reason for you to need to do that. Like, you're not going to encounter anything. You're just literally on a highway driving to the next town.
Okay. Well, then I guess it doesn't matter who drives then. With my busted knee, probably wouldn't be able to. So.
Oh, yeah.
Dorian.
Danger can drive
All right.
dangerously.
So you guys head out and you start driving north on the highway. And you drive out of Fraser. There's a small break in the towns. You get to the south end, which is still, under. There's no checkpoint there yet. You drive through Tabernash. Things look pretty calm. And then as you get to the north side, A just sort of like mentions, he's like, now look, I know we're wearing uniforms, and I know that we're going to have the drop on them, so to speak. But let's take this cautiously. Does anybody want to hop out here and take position? Bunk does as well.
Marcus does for sure, yeah.
Okay. And I would say that you guys are... At this point, you're easily... about 100 yards out. But you're around a bend. Like, you're going to have to come around a corner to get to this military checkpoint. So they don't know you're there yet. So Bunk and Marcus hop out. There's not really any elevated positions, so to speak. This is a pretty flat area. You're in the bottom of a valley. So there's not really any place for you to take big elevated positions, and off of the highway is mostly just tall grass. So finding a place that is going to give you a good line of sight on this checkpoint is going to be not challenging, but you're going to have to give me an observation roll.
Fuck. Observation. I can roll observation using empathy instead of wit, so that gives me one more. So I'll do that. No, wait, no, I can only do that if... Would this count as detect an approaching threat?
No.
We're approaching them.
You're
Okay,
approaching
I didn't
them.
think
You are the aggressor.
so. Okay.
You are trying to spot the enemy that you're going to snipe.
That's 2 6s and a 1 and a 4.
Sweet. 2 6s. Yeah, you do. You find a nice break, so to speak, in the grass in the valley, in the meadow. It's kind of a place where you would imagine that like elk have been bedding down, so the grass has been sort of pushed down. It gives you just a bit of an opening to be able to actually make a clean line of sight. And you kind of check your scope, do the range finding and whatnot, and you're pretty confident you've got a good line on all three of them. And Bunk follows you. Same scenario. Are you guys ready to continue on?
We give the thumbs up to them. Like,
Okay.
Can we do a quick break?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you need just need to pee, get drinks and whatnot?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take like a 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll attack this guard outpost. Cool.
Nice.
All right, so you guys are approaching this military checkpoint. Bunk and Marcus have taken sort of like sniper positions, so to speak. And as you guys come around this bend, you see the checkpoint. Clearly 2 guys out front, just standing in position. Apparently they have no fucking clue what has happened, what's transpired at the base in Fraser. But as you roll up, A is just sort of like, let's just stop a little short. I want to get out and let's see if we can just convince him to walk away. Unless one of you guys has another plan.
Do what you gotta do.
Okay. So, as the truck sort of comes up, you see the guy he holds out his hand as if to say stop. And, A asks Dorian, "You're wearing the uniform. Do you want to try in this? You want to?"
Yeah. So we're in like a big like it's got a huge bed with a cover over the bed and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is the guy coming up to the door?
I mean, he held out his hand as if to tell you to stop. And I'm assuming whoever's driving stops, unless you're going to drive through him.
No, I was...
Your mic just cut out.
Oh, there's two of them.
There's
There's one stopping.
Yeah, there are two men standing out in front of this, like, you know, the arm that comes down. And there's like a little booth.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm driving. Dorian stops. And he like peeks his head out the door. He's like, dude, you've got to come see what we just caught. It's in the back.
He's like,
and then like Dorian gets out and he's like, come here. You've got to see this.
He's very confused. Well, I mean, and he kind of looks at you for a second. And then he shrugs his shoulders and he's just like, what? Yeah, what? What's up?
Yeah, come. And then Dorian like goes around, leads him. He's trying to like lead him towards the back of the truck.
So the guy that you're talking
Dorian,
to kind of like he turns to the other guy that's at the barricade and he's just like, just keep an eye. So he's like, yeah, what is going on? And he follows. He starts following you to the back of the truck.
Okay. Dorian like flips open the flap or whatever to the truck, and he's like, "You see it in there?"
Like,
what
the fuck are you talking about?
And then takes his throwing knife and stabs him right in the temple.
Okay. Give me a melee roll.
Don't fuck this up, Dorian.
Please say you say that out loud.
Yeah, right before I stab him, he's just, don't fuck this up. Plus my stress. Come on. Let me make sure I don't have any other bonuses.
Guidance.
I guess that is
guidance.
It's one success.
Oh.
How many did you roll?
Got one.
5, 6. So he's gonna try. You come in to like stab him in the temple. He's gonna take this with a -2 penalty because he's at a bit of a disadvantage. He's gonna try it, but he is gonna try and block it because he as you're coming in to stab me, he turns like, I don't see, and he sees the knife coming in.
Oh,
damn it.
No, he needed to roll more than you. You got 1 success. He only got 1 success. So,
oh, nice.
Murder.
Right in his temple. Roll a d6 for me. And then what he's gonna do is he needs to roll. So he doesn't immediately die, but he just starts twitching like this. He's lost all faculties. Like he can't speak. He can't move. He starts pissing himself.
Sorry. I don't know why
But he's
that was
not
so
quite
funny.
dead. He like slumps over into the bed of the covered part of the truck, and he's just like shaking. His eyes kind of roll up in the back of his head.
And then Dorian peeks around the side, the back, and he's like, dude, are you gonna come look at this? And then he tries to like throw his voice to make it sound like the other guy's saying, come check this out too.
Okay, give me a persuasion roll.
Yes.
And he's going to roll
God damn
insight.
3, 4, 5.
And I would say give
Marcus
yourself a +2, just a base +2 because you're wearing the uniform.
Okay.
He has nothing for insight.
Marcus and Bunker are gonna have to walk to y'all after not getting to shoot anybody because Dorian's just gonna fucking. Hey,
It's
come
like
here.
two more die.
Yeah, 2 more of the white ones.
Oh
And
boy.
then do I get the bullshit artist +1 modifier when
For
you
sure.
attempt to lie?
For sure.
Roll 37d6.
There's got to be 1 6 in there. There is 1 6 in there.
Oh, he like, not only does he believe it, he's like, oh my God, I gotta check this out. So he starts running towards you. I was like, what the fuck you got in this truck? And then he gets to the back of the truck. He doesn't look in yet. He hasn't breached the corner yet. But he's like, what do you got in here? He's like, buddy, what is it? And he turns around the corner and he sees his dude laying in the truck, just convulsing and bleeding. I'm going to give you one opportunity to do something before he does.
And how close is he?
Oh, he's within arm's reach of you? How close is he to you? He's within arm's reach.
Yeah. And then I say, abracadabra, and I try and slit his throat.
Okay. Give me another melee roll. And he is going to
All right,
try and block
this is-
this.
This is about the time where Dorian
Gets to bed.
fails. Yeah.
His PTSD is gonna kick in.
Yep.
Are you gonna push it?
I probably should. That's only 1. And I take a point of stress.
Yeah. So
For the
you're gonna
push.
roll. You're gonna roll
2.
4 base
It's
and 1
2.
stress, or 2 stress. 4
Yeah.
base and 2 stress.
It's a 6.
2, 3, 4. Oh,
Oh
he
yeah.
does not. He does not. He's roll d6, and then he's gonna have to roll for stamina here.
Oh, god damn it.
1. But I mean, cut his throat, so. So he's going to hang on. You get a nice good gash in his neck, and he starts bleeding out, but he's not dead. And he immediately cups his hand over his neck, and he presses the radio that he's got on his chest. He's like, incoming!
Oh, damn it.
And so Silas and A, you guys are not driving, but you're in the front of the truck, and you see 2 more guys come out of that cabin. Not cabin. What am I thinking of? The little office thing. What did I call it a minute ago? Anyway, a vestibule, we'll call it. I don't know. There's a word for it that's, for whatever reason, a booth. There we go, booth. It's like this little terminal booth, and they just both keep running. They come running out, and they take up positions. They can't make heads or tails of anything. So since they're confused right now, I need everybody to roll initiative. D10 plus your agility.
Plus agility. Ooh.
Fuck. Rolled so low.
And this is Ryan. This is just rolling a D10 and then adding whatever the agility score is, not rolling. Yeah.
Correct.
It's 12 for Marcus.
Oh, for Marcus.
13 for danger.
7 for Silas.
Ah,
Silas is 7. Oh, Jesus. And then Bunk is going to roll.
Ryan, your
6.
dog looks like a statue.
he looks like a Frankenstein dog.
He hasn't moved.
like-
Oh, there he goes.
Okay, so it's going to be danger. Marcus.
I've got a fucking menagerie of animals around me right now, but the ugliest one is posted up next to me. So
Bunk first. Who am I missing? Good. Dorian. Anyway, all right. First up is Dorian. What do you want to do? And I would
All right,
say
that dude's-
you have not seen the two guys come out of the booth because you're tied up at the back of the truck dealing with this guy who just called for reinforcements.
Okay.
He's still hanging
So-
on, but like literally he's like clutching his neck because you just like cut across his neck.
Yeah, I gotta finish the job. I'm going to stab him again.
Okay.
Did it? 4 plus my 2 freaking stress. But that's it. Roll.
Nice.
God dang it.
nice.
Oh, I thought that was a 6.
No.
Are you
I got 1 on there.
yeah, a 1. Are you gonna take another point of stress and push this?
I feel like I have to,
I love this.
or he's gonna
already dying.
he's gonna kill me. All right, I'm pushing.
Okay. I love this.
1, 2, 3.
3 and 3.
Wait. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Come on.
So, all right, roll
I
it.
knew Dorian was gonna shit the bed.
Roll
The GM.
roll a red and a black dice for me. Or no, wait.
Sounds like the
we
GM
did the stress differently this time.
We did a D10, I thought,
Yeah, we did.
and then you add.
Panic effects. Yeah, roll a D10 plus your stress score. So
Plus
D10
3.
plus 3. 9. So you let out, despite the fact that you miss, you let out this giant rallying cry. So you are unfortunately going to take another point of stress. But everybody, all of your allies, get a +2 bonus to their next attack roll.
Nice. So I'm at 4 stress
You're
now.
you're at 4 stress.
Cool. That's a
That's-
all-time high.
How quickly it
New,
accumulates.
new PR right there. Personal record.
So
Congrats, Danger.
That's going to take us to Marcus.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this whole time, like where me and Bunker located, we're like watching through the sniper scopes,
I would assume
seeing
so.
Dorian just like, Girl Scout cookie people to the back of the, truck and then just off them. See that it's not going well and see the two guys come out. So I would like to take a shot at one of the two guys that came out of the booth
Okay.
or vestibule.
Okay.
So that's
left or
gonna be-
right? Left or right?
Whichever one is inherently closer to any kind of danger to the guys in the truck.
They're both the same.
Well, I'm left-handed, so I'll go for the right.
Okay.
So that's my agility and marksmanship, and then my sniper and my bonus. That's 12d6. That's why I wanted to do this. Please don't Dorian this. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3 6s.
Okay.
No ones.
3 6s.
3 6s.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to do it? You want to describe how this guy goes down?
Yeah. So like they came out kind of bewildered, like what's going on. Don't know what's happening at the back of the truck, and in my mind, he's like looking slightly to. I said the one on the right, so he's looking to the guy to his left. He's like, "What do you think's?" And just missed out the back of his head.
Perfect.
Just
Pink mist.
crumples down.
Okay. Let's see. That is going to take us to the guy at the back of the truck with Dorian. He's going to take a -3 penalty on this, but he is going to try and stab Dorian. Ooh, he's going to succeed.
Damn.
Do you want to try and block this?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a melee roll.
Stress.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm. 3 6s though.
I'm so much
Two
panic.
stresses.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. You got 3 6s, so I would say that not only do you successfully block, but you can make a counterattack.
Okay. What was he was gonna stab me?
He was going to
With
try and
his-
stab you with his knife.
Okay, I want to take that and like try and judo correct him into Krav Maga him in the chest.
Perfect. All right, make another melee roll for me. I would say since you've already induced the panic, you don't need to roll any of your stress dice for this.
Great. Thank you.
There's a 6. All right. Go ahead and the guy's already bleeding out from the neck. You want to describe how this kills him?
Yeah, so he's coming at me with his knife. And I didn't have time to think of something witty, so let me delay. So he's coming at me, and I grab the knife, and then I shove it back into his throat, and I say, "There's only one danger here," and then I just let him fall as he like looks me in the eye.
Perfect. That's amazing. Let's see. Silas is up.
Ooh, I would like to take a shot with the pistol at the other guard that came out of the booth.
Okay.
I got 1-6.
1-6. All right, roll damage.
Okay. It's not much, so that is 4.
4. Okay. Silas. That's going to take us to... Actually, who's got the higher agility? Not Bunk. That's going to take us to the dude you just shot. He is going to... Since you're basically the only person he can see, he is going to return fire. Oh, he's going to push this, though. Ooh, he's gonna hit. For 5. Now it's Bunk's turn, who is going to take a shot at him with his sniper rifle. 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ooh, and he's going to hit for 4, which is going to put this guy down. He puts this last one right through his lung, and this guy drops his weapon, just falls to his knee, and just sort of crumples over to the side. And that is it. A kind of gets out of the truck, heads to the back, kind of looks at the pile of bodies that Dorian sort of accumulated, and he's just like, whatever works.
And that's how danger does it. And he takes a bow.
So A kind of signals to Bunk. He's like, we're good. You can come on back. And as they're waiting for Bunk and Marcus to get back and rejoin him at the truck, A is just sort of like, so what do you guys think of Grace?
I thought she was very helpful. She was kind without wanting anything initially. She didn't know who we were, but she knew that Sullivan was looking for any new threats in the area, and turns out it was us, but she didn't turn us in. She didn't do anything but help heal our people. So I think she's good people.
Do you think she was in on it with Sullivan? I mean, she was allowed to operate this entire time with minimal, intervention from Sullivan.
He enlisted our help to get rid of Sullivan. That was the first meeting.
Okay.
I think we offered, but there was a guy that came in that clearly came from the cannibals' location that she seemed like she didn't know what was going on, as I recall. I can recall correctly, but I was also love struck. So
With Grace?
Grace,
Oh,
or she was in love with me, so I was just being polite, one or the other.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. I've got a good intuition about these things, and I tried to let her down easy when I gave her flowers, but I know magic, sometimes it just does it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to get in between you and any sort of romantic entanglement. That's a bit more than I was actually trying to figure out. I just wanted to know if you guys thought that she might be in cahoots with Sullivan in one way or another. It doesn't sound like you guys have that suspicion.
No, I feel like she would have turned us in if she was in cahoots.
I'm just like, okay. We'll see. And A kind of like strips the guys of any useful ammunition. I would say that despite the fact that there was some gunfire, you guys would be able to recoup whatever you shot from the bodies that are on the floor. That being said, let's have Dorian and Silas give me just roll a d6.
2.
1.
2. Okay. Yeah, so you guys, whatever ammunition you spent in the gunfight, although I think Silas and Bunk and Marcus were the only 3 that took shots. We'll forego an ammo roll this time. And you guys all kind of climb back into the truck. And as you're getting towards you get past the checkpoint. And now you're getting out in that area where the rodeo would have been. You driving by it. You can see it off to the north of you because you're on that section of the highway that's turning west. And you can see the rodeo. And A is just sort of like, do we have any reason to stop?
Stop
I don't
before
need
the
anything
rodeo?
at the rodeo.
Yeah. Is there any reason to stop in at the rodeo?
Should we flip the horseshoe to see what happens?
I mean, you guys said you were down to take out some jackals. I'm just saying, we're here. If we want to send out the signal, we got 24 hours before anybody's going to show up anyway.
I mean, Dorian would like to flip it, but he's just on the high from killing 2 dudes. So he's feeling dangerous.
Yeah, go flip it there, Danger.
All right. So you guys kind of veer off the main highway onto this, a little bit more of a local country road, and make your way to the rodeo. You get to the parking lot. Everything looks quiet. There's no coyote trap out front. Do you want to make your way over to the grandstand and flip the horseshoe?
Yes.
All right. So, which route are you taking to the horseshoe? Are you sort of like walking through all the buildings like you guys did last time, or are you just cutting straight across like the center arena over to the grandstands?
Serpentine.
Yeah. I'm moving like somebody's got me in their sights, and I'm just no. I'll go through the buildings like we did last time. I'm too stressed to go straight across.
Give me an observation roll.
With my stress.
This would just be passive, so no.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Not doing good.
So you make your way over to the grandstands. And just like last time, you remember last time you were here.
Oh, wait. I got 5. I got one more die.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry.
Bummer.
Sorry.
Wah, 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 wah.
It's weird. Like when you roll them all together, you feel like you have a better chance than when you just like, oh, I have one more, and despite but whatever. And you just, you kind of remember the last time you were here. Peter sort of made his way out undercover and flipped the horseshoe, and this is that spot where Bunk got kidnapped, and just sort of a poignant moment for you, remembering, like, this is kind of where the anchor point for all of this bullshit in this valley has started. Anyway, that's it. That's all. You have this very prescient thought, and you sort of make your way back to the truck.
Oh, so I made it there successfully and flipped it?
Yep.
Went back.
Yep.
And now we wait.
Now you wait. Yeah, so you hop in the truck. And you get back in the truck, and A's just sort of like, I don't know why, but I thought that would be more dramatic.
I was too scared to add flair to it. But usually I like to perform, but not this time.
So, yeah, he's like, all right, heading to Grace.
Yeah.
All right. So you get back in the truck, start it up, start driving up the highway to the YMCA, and you get there, and it's the same scene. Big gates, 2 watchtowers out front. They don't initially open the gates for you, but obviously it's they didn't open the gates for you last time. Who wants to get out and talk to the guards in the tower?
Say,
Do
hey,
we remember-
Marcus, you had good luck last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we remember if it was me? I thought it was me last time that got us in, but
Yep. Yeah, it was you.
yeah. So I guess I'll get out of the passenger door, kind of hobbling on the crutch,
Okay.
and
I'll go with him.
And when you hop out, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When you hop out, the guards in the tower, they've got guns drawn on you, and they're like, identify!
And I've got my one. I can't remember which leg.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. So I get out, and I've got my one good arm that's not holding the crutch up, and I'm like, it's us. It's me, Marcus, and Silas from before. We're back to report. We're back to report to Grace. We've got good news. Please let us in.
It's like, you look like Vanguard to me.
And I look down and be like, oh fuck, look, fuck the Vanguard. That's just fuck the Vanguard. Fuck. I can't remember his fucking name that Matt pokered to death.
Sullivan.
Fuck Sullivan.
And he's his buddy on the other tower. He's like, I don't know. He said, fuck Sullivan. So they're like, yeah, let him in. So they open the door up. You guys drive the Jeep in. They close the gates behind you, and you guys sort of make your way into the hospital. When you get inside, it's just like it was last time. It's sort of like this meager operation. It's actually emptier than it was before. There are some people that are taking space in hospital beds, and Grace is there. She is taking care of one of the patients that she's got in the bed. But that I don't remember what his name was. Gary, that was sort of helping you last time, he turns around, he sees you guys enter, and he's like, oh my god. And he comes running over to you, and he's like, I can't believe you guys are back.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
So, when you say you did it, like, so Kittredge is in charge now? This is really good for us.
No, Kittredge is he died a long time ago.
Wait, what?
That wasn't us though.
So Sullivan is still in charge?
No, Sullivan's gone too. And so's Kurt.
Who the fuck is Kurt? So who's running things? What happened?
I blacked out for a second, but I think we blew up their home base. Oh, before that, we killed a bunch of cannibals. And Kittredge died by fighting the cannibals. That was all his fault, too.
What? This guy, like, you're telling this story, and this guy has no idea of any of this stuff. He's just thought that you were going over there to, like, have a coup and install Kittredge, and you're talking about cannibals and, like, the base is gone, and he's just like, what? So what does this mean? Where's
Grace? Like, let's, instead of telling the story a couple times, where's Grace?
So he's like, yeah, hold on, I'll go get Grace. And so he goes and he pokes around. He's like, oh, and Grace kind of looks, and she seems as equally shocked. And she comes back and she's like, no Sullivan, no Kittredge. What did you guys do?
They poked the bear, and they got what was coming to them.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Funk would have to be like tied and gagged to let Dorian like take over the storytelling on this one.
Is
this passive, or do I need to stress on this one
No,
too?
this is, well, I would say that there's no immediate threat. Well, you know what? Yes, roll the panic.
Just because he wants you to panic.
3 6s.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
All right,
Odds are against.
roll a d10 for me, and then add. Wait, how many do you have? 4? Jesus.
Add 26.
Well,
Your
what's
head
the
explode.
Roll a d10 plus 4.
plus my empathy?
No, plus your stress score.
Oh, stress.
4, 6. So you you say what you say, and then you realize that, like, oh my God, I'm in love with Grace. And the whole notion just, like, scares the shit out of you, because you have, like, this, like, ego complex, but you're terrified of vulnerability, and, like, this, like, all this shit is going on. So as soon as you say this thing, you're like, wait a minute, what if, like, you have this moment of panic? And so you just freeze. Like, you just completely freeze in your tracks. But what did you roll? 3 success? Grace is just like, oh, I may have underestimated you. Does anybody want to elaborate what that means? Because I'm assuming that in this situation, as charming as he is, I don't believe that he specifically is the bear in this scenario.
It's a whole thing. Like, we met with Sullivan, and he was a grade A piece of shit, and he essentially like allowed us to investigate the issue with the rodeo, and told us that maybe we could take care of an agitator for him. I don't know if you knew Marv at the ranch, at the Devil's Thumb Ranch, but turns out they were cannibals. Didn't worry about hiding that from Kittredge. A firefight ensued. Everybody on that ranch is dead as far as we know. We found a survivor. She is back, presumably safe where we were last night. But we left there, pursued by Vanguard, took care of them, and then wound up meeting what the four of us have been calling the alphabet soup guys, because they don't go by names, they go by letters. I don't know if you've run into these.
A, just sort of like, how you doing?
This is A. He seems to be in charge of the alphabet soup, and we've just been killing Vanguard sort of left and right lately.
Grace is a little like stunned. She's taken aback a bit. And she's just sort of like, well, this changes everything.
I'd like to add that I've been shot a couple of times in the last 24 hours.
She kind of looks at you, like, "Oh my God, you have. Let's get you to a bed." And she's like, "Gary, get everything ready, get everything prepped. We got a bullet to remove. We got wounds to tend to. This guy looks like his leg is completely fucked. I mean, no offense. It sounds like you guys did some great work, but you're all maybe a little worse for the wear. Does anybody have dysentery this time?" No.
I don't think so.
Perfect. So she leads Silas and Marcus. You guys get to beds, and they Gary and one of the other nurses start taking care of Silas. And they, wow. All right. They patch you up. They find the bullet. It's touch and go for a minute. This guy's like, I've never taken a bullet out before. I've only ever done stitches. I've never had to so he's a little stressed out. He's kind of not so sure of himself. A couple of times he pokes you in the wound. It just makes it worse. And it's just sort of this whole thing is just a clumsy operation. But eventually he does remove the bullet from you, closes the suture up, wraps it in some clean, sterile gauze. And you can restore, 6 hit points.
Damn, back to full. Feeling good again.
And so, they turn their attention to Marcus, who's, basically got an injured knee. His tendons in his knee are kind of fucked up. They both kind of agree that this is a bit outside the scope of what we have the ability to fix. You might just be on your own. But instead of just a crutch, they do offer to get you a brace. One of those compression braces that wraps around your knee, and they're like, this may help heal. If it'll provide some isolation and some stability for the joint, so you're not putting so much stress on it. How many days do you have left on your...
So originally I rolled an 11, and I don't remember how many days it's been.
I think it
since.
went from 11 days down to 11 shifts, which would have been...
Yeah.
11 divided by 4. Almost 3 days. So with this brace, it's going to cut the healing time in half again. So you've got basically, we'll say a full day before you're recovered. They're like, they've got heat and ice packs that they're alternating for you. They're those little things where you like break the thing and shake it up, and the iron and the stuff like makes the reaction. And so they've got cold compresses, and they're like, alternate this every hour, heat and then ice, heat and then ice. Keep that thing isolated and don't move. And it should help heal the tendons. Is anybody else hurt? Anybody else need medical attention?
I think Bunk could take some Geritol if y'all got some of that.
Sure. Bunk's like, I don't need no
bed game.
gear. My stew keeps me regular.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to.
Stew keeps me
I wanted
regular. I have the bowels of a 14-year-old. And so Grace is kind of like, just like checking in on you two, kind of doing the round, so to speak. And she's like, and I think Dorian is okay. And she says Dorian, loud enough for everybody in the room to hear. And the guy that was in the hospital bed when you arrived sits up and says, Dorian Danger?
And Dorian spins around and says, the one and only.
And you don't get a clear look at him yet because you're still sort of like, somebody's heard of me. And but when you whip around and you lock eyes with this guy, he has a very stern, he is like shooting daggers at you. And he's like, did you find Georgia yet? Or are you just out and about with your new friends? And you recognize this guy. This guy's name is Tony.
Tony? So Dorian's Tony! It's so good to see you. I'm glad you're out here surviving.
Uh-huh.
Unlike some of us, I did find Georgia. And I was too late.
What do you mean too late?
Well, as you know, I was tracking her to bring her back. And I had tracked her to a group, but it was a did you guys say it was the Cult of the Void group? She fell in with the Void. I don't know.
Georgia wasn't a member of the Void. She was not a Voidoid.
She was with a preacher of the Voidoid. And so he ended up poisoning her. And then these guys' friend blew up the cabin. And I don't know if she was dead before it blew up or if the explosion killed her altogether. But there was an explosion. I came running, and then I found out she was gone. I cried for days.
He kind of looks at you and he, who's conscious in your group? He looks at Silas because you're like in the bunk next to him. He just sort of rolls. He like turns and looks at you as you're laying in your own hospital bed, and he's like, "How much of that is true?"
We came upon Georgia. She was already poisoned. She never said much of anything that I'm aware of, and we discovered that this guy was poisoning her with hemlock, and arranged to give him a taste of his own medicine, if you will. And apparently one of the guys that we were traveling with was a voidoid as well, and despite what Danger says, he wasn't any fucking friend of mine. Bastard detonated C4 in the middle of this cabin and killed most of the people in it. We escaped barely.
That
with,
seems
our
very convenient. That this whole cabin full of people died, and this one, who was supposed to go find her and bring her back, is alive, and so are the three of you.
Wasn't very fucking convenient for me, and Danger, we hadn't met him at that point. He came after the explosion.
Tony,
I don't know about you, but C4 blowing up near you isn't very fucking convenient. I'd watch your ass.
Tony, I may be a little grandiose sometimes, but I never lie. I may embellish a story once in a while, but never at Georgia's expense. She was the heart of our group, the soul. And when she left, I knew I had to go get her and bring her back. You know this. You know me. And I know you. And you know that I know you.
We were told that Georgia was the wife of the preacher.
Georgia
That's
wasn't
what we were
married.
told.
That's what I said.
This is the first time we fucking met her. How would we know?
I'm just telling you what I know.
So I don't know how she fell in with that group, because she was already there when I started tracking them. I don't know if she fell in because she felt safer with them than with me. I have no idea how that happens, but I just wish I could bring her back. I wish I could have brought her back to you guys.
Well, there's no one to bring her back to. They're all gone. I'm the only one left. And I barely made it out.
What happened?
The entire place was raided by jackals.
Was it convenient that you were the only one that survived?
He kind of hears what you had to say. He's just sort of like, yes, it was very convenient that I survived. But only in that I survived.
So the jackals raided, you survived. You're sure you're the only one that survived. Billy and Mandy didn't make it? Or what about Jennifer and Peg Leg Steve?
That, you know, that was not his name. You were the only one that called him Peg Leg Steve, and he fucking hated it.
He had a weird way of walking, so he was probably the first to go. He couldn't run.
He's like, I'll admit, I don't know that they're all dead. I was out foraging, but I've never heard of anybody surviving a jackal raid. And when I went back, there was nobody there.
Well, let me throw this quest on you, Tony. We've got maybe some jackals coming to pick us up in 24 hours. Maybe we could get some revenge or see if they have taken them to wherever they're taking all these other people.
Why do you have a coordination with a, like, I don't understand.
Tony, I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
what you're
I've been
saying.
working this entire time. I haven't been running. I've been coordinating constantly. The gears, they're always moving. Once Georgia was down, I'm gonna be honest, I knew something was gonna happen to you guys. And then I came across this one guy who said, jackals are raiding small little groups. And I was like, dude, if they took my group, I'm gonna go get them. And then after I met with these guys, they went to sleep for a little bit, and I ran to where our group was, and I noticed it wasn't there. So I was like, must be the jackals, because I was gonna join our groups together. And now that I know that the jackals are taking people and they took you, I was coming to get and rescue you guys by turning our lucky horseshoe upside down.
Tony is just like, you said so much in that very long diatribe, none of which was useful or informative or even vaguely an answer to the question that I asked you. So, why do you have a coordinated event with jackals?
You want me to tell you the whole backstory or just tell you how I
Skip
know
to the
these
end.
things? I flipped a horseshoe.
Back up just a little bit.
So I found out that the jackals are coordinating with the Vanguard and some cannibals to take people across the border to Canada. But there's no evidence that they're taking people across the border. And plus, they're jackals. They can't be trusted. You know this. I know this. We all know this. So, I flipped the horseshoe. They come in 24 hours. We get our people back. We avenge Georgia, Pegleg Steve, and everybody else that they took.
So A is kind of listening to this. Is like, I don't know who this fucking guy is, but this is the first time Dorian's made any sense since I met you guys. I'm in. And he just sort of, he's like, I'd be talking to Tony. He's like, I don't know who you are or what your beef is with Dorian, but I'm down to murder some jackals tomorrow.
I think we all are. Bunk would agree. Oh, he's sleeping.
He's
but when
in
he
the
wakes
shitter. He's having one of his memorable stools.
A good watery stew shit.
So Tony, you in? Are you well enough?
So, Tony's like, yeah, if what you're saying is that you've got an invitation to kill some jackals tomorrow, then I'm in. He says, but I don't know how useful I'm going to be with this. And he kind of holds up his right arm, and his hand has been like cut off at the wrist. And he's just got like a bloody stump left over.
Damn.
He's like, I don't think I need to explain this one to you. Let's just say you owe me.
Anybody got
Okay.
a chainsaw?
And Grace is just like, Can you guys just stop? I am desperately trying to help people that need help, not who go out and seek out opportunities to become injured. I almost feel like I should be charging you for this, considering that you seem to have no shortage of desire to be injured. Sullivan's gone. Kittredge is gone. Sounds like Alphabet Soup can take care of Fraser Valley. What do you guys need?
Grace, they're gonna keep poking the bear if we don't do something.
Are you the bear in this situation? Who is the bear?
I think I see it as a collective bear. But I mean, I can be your bear.
Give me another persuasion roll.
Fine. With my stress again?
Yeah,
God damn.
with your stress.
Oh wait. Oh, damn it. 3 6s though.
3 6s.
Again.
So again, this time, like Grace, she's like, "Oh, Dorian." She kind of gives you one of those. But I do, but you do panic. So I would like you to roll me a D10 and add 4 to it.
Please shit yourself in front of this woman.
I do a 12. Oh my god.
With your front-facing butt.
So, you like this time you realize that your flirtatious advance lands, and you are flooded with adrenaline, and so you will gain a +2 on your next attack or blocking roll.
Hell yeah. Gotta make a note of that.
And so Tony's just like, all right, well, if you guys are all in, then I'm in. And he's like, I don't know if you guys really knew Georgia, but tomorrow we do it for Georgia.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's a good spot to end it for tonight, because I have to figure out who all these people are and what any of them have to do with each other.
We're gonna kill half of them in the first 10 minutes of the next session, so don't even give them names.